The Duchess of Cambridge was pictured outside St. George Chapel in Windsor Castle, placing her arm on the heir's shoulder as they exchanged a brief kiss. The touching moment was captured after the ceremony, which was attended by 30 mourners. Charles led a procession behind his father's coffin, which made its way to the chapel as gunshots rang out. Kate joined other royals, including the Duchess of Cornwall, in waiting outside the church as a mark of respect as the procession made its way past. After the somber church service, Kate, 39, was seen chatting cordially to Charles and Camilla. She made a point of making her support for the prince known by leaning in to kiss him. Earlier, Charles had appeared visibly upset as he followed his father's casket to the church. Kate's affection would no doubt have been appreciated by the grieving monarch's son, who is expected to step up in his royal duties following the funeral. Due to the COVID pandemic, Charles, like millions of grandparents around the world, has missed out on quality time with his grandchildren. The prince is known to be particularly close to the Cambridges and enjoys spending time with Prince George, 7, Princess Charlotte, 5, and little Prince Louis. The youngest member of the Cambridge clan is due to celebrate his 3rd birthday next Friday, 2 days after the Queen turns 95. Given the passing of her husband, the monarch is highly unlikely to mark the milestone in a big way. Charles has not seen his 4th grandchild Archie since late 2019, before the Sussexes left for Canada. The Prince of Wales will become grandfather to a 5th child this summer when Meghan gives birth to her and Harry's 2nd baby. The Duchess of Sussex is thought to be around 7 months pregnant. She opted out of making the journey to the UK for the funeral after doctors advised her not to fly. The royal family will continue to grieve this week following the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral, although the period of national mourning has ended. After almost 70 years as head of state, the Queen will reign without her husband by her side, as she sat on her own during the funeral service that bore Philip's touch and celebrated his life and legacy. The ceremony in St. George Chapel at Windsor Castle on Saturday reflected Philip's lifelong support of the armed forces, having had a close connection with the Navy for more than 80 years. His coffin, draped with his personal standard, featured his Admiral of the Fleet naval cap and sword next to a wreath of white flowers chosen by the Queen with a handwritten card from his wife of 73 years. Charles was joined by the Princess Royal, Duke of York and Earl of Wessex as they walked behind Philip's coffin, which was carried by a Land Rover Defender hearse he helped design, during the funeral procession. Following closely behind were the Duke's grandsons, the Duke of Sussex, Duke of Cambridge and Peter Phillips, and Vice Admiral Tim Lawrence, the Princess Royal's husband, and the Queen's nephew the Earl of Snowdon. Harry and William, who have a troubled relationship, were separated by their cousin Peter Phillips. However, the brothers were seen chatting after the ceremony and walking together as they made their way from the venue. Kate was dubbed a peacemaker after footage emerged showing her walking with her husband and brother-in-law. Nearly 7 million viewers tuned in to watch the BBC's coverage of the historic royal funeral. The corporation devoted almost 4 hours to the event, led by veteran broadcaster Hugh Edwards. Viewing peaked just after 3 p.m., as the ceremony started, with 11.3 million people tuning in, the BBC said. The impressive statistics came after more than 100,000 complaints about its coverage of the Duke's death. After the palace announced the sad news on April 9, the BBC cancelled multiple programs to air specially made shows about Philip's life.